End of line. This is the Science Fiction Rating System, the podcast that aims to rank every science fiction film from 1 to infinity. My name is Sam Draper, and I am joined as ever by Chris Redding.
Hello.
And Alex Humphrey.
Hello. Joined from LA by Chris Redding.
On satellite link up.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, LA's quite loud, so it could get noisy. So we'll just.
Ooh.
But it's still pretty early in the morning here. It's 7:30.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe
what's going on? Is
like,
it like
for instance,
film?
an air conditioner unit has just come on, and it's really loud. So
I thought it was going to be like police cars or explosions or something. If it's just an air
conditioner,
unit,
it's a bit disappointing.
Yeah.
Right, well, Chris is joining us from LA to he joined us because he's on every week, actually, not just because of these three films. But he's joined us because we're discussing three films from the 1980s, which I called it on the podcast 80s Kids Sci-Fi Week, but it should have really been video game movies, shouldn't it? Because they're all...
Yeah. I don't know it should have really been Ready Player One week, but I know you hate it so much that you don't even want to give it any kind of...
type it in.
No,
yeah, you don't even want to say the words, do you?
Clickbait, though. Clickbait.
Yeah.
That's true. We need to get our SEO going, don't we?
Yeah.
So Ready Player One came out, and that rips off a lot of films. And so we looked at three of the films it was ripping off. People have now seen Ready Player One. Have you seen it, Chris, in LA? Is it over there yet, or was it not?
I've seen the big billboards.
Right.
I'll send you a photo of a billboard, because that'll look good on the site.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Here is a review of it from Christy Puchko, who says, "A cacophonous eyesore. This is no love letter to pop culture. It's a crass play to nostalgia. It offers nothing new or exciting. I'm genuinely angry that Spielberg is so careless with his own legacy, slapping in references to Jurassic Park with all the care of a monkey slinging feces."
Wow. Okay.
Jurassic Park.
Apparently there's a reference to Jurassic Park in it. Yeah.
I'm there. I'm going.
It's worked. It's fucking worked. Oh no.
I think from what I've seen, there's a reference to every film ever, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it, but yeah.
I mean, as we've discussed, I quite like the book. Sam didn't. But I was thinking, Sam, that Steven Spielberg making this film is a bit like if there was some kind of like 90s tribute band who played hits of loads of different people, and that was all they did, and then one particular 90s band decided to work with that tribute band. That is pretty much what Spielberg working with doing this book is like, isn't it? Because it's not even like the book is just all about Spielberg, it's all about the whole of the 80s. So it's kind of lame that he's kind of bowing down to someone who's ultimately tributing him or ripping him off.
This is what all films are, though, aren't they? They're just like fanboy things now.
But not so on the nose, though. It's like E.T.'s in it and shit like that. Like, it's just... Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did.
George Lucas is doing it to himself. Like.
I wonder if Jar Jar Binks is in this. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Should be.
Probably.
I'll be going
Could
then.
be.
But anyway, so we watch three films that are no doubt better than Ready Player One, but perhaps not that much better in some instances. So let's jump right in, shall we? With our first of these three films. I forgot what I said it was.
The Last Starfighter,
thank you,
1984.
Alex. The Last Starfighter. So, I'd seen this before. Neither of you seen it or both seen it? I can't remember what was the...
No, I hadn't seen it, definitely not.
Alex,
I kind of rang some bells, but I can't... Yeah.
It gets very confused with Flight of the Navigator, doesn't it? In my mind, at least. Alex, what was your takeaway from this film?
Well, the thing, when it started, I thought it was quite interesting, the way it started, that kind of trailer park he lives in, which is, it's not what I think of trailer parks. That was quite a nice kind of, it was almost like a rural village community, wasn't it? Like, everyone like, oh, hey, Mrs. Thompson, I'll come fix your wiring, and like I thought that was quite nice. And I quite like the hook. I mean, it is obviously ripped from Ender's Game, and they very cleverly reference Excalibur within it. The hook that, the game is there to test people, and if you pass the game, then you can go off and fight in this war.
Alex, hang on. Let me just stop you a second. Ender's Game wasn't released till the year afterwards.
But the book was out, wasn't it?
No, the book came out the year afterwards.
Oh, the book came out the year...
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Crazy,
Hold the phone then.
Yeah.
So... Okay, but that's not near enough that he could have ripped it, but they obviously made it one of those like collective consciousness things. Were they having the same idea?
I think it's just post Tron. Everyone thought video games in films and books today, I think. Anyway, carry on, sorry.
Anyway, so I was kind of going along and I was enjoying it, and like Centauri when he turns up that car is amazing.
Yeah.
And I thought the effects were actually not. I saw a Blu-ray that I bought version of it, and I thought the effects actually looked reasonably decent. I thought it wasn't not too bad considering they look quite nice. But, and there is a big but, it's got a very, 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 very strong militaristic and kind of ultimately he's kidnapped and he's conscripted basically, isn't he, into a war that he knows nothing about. And then he's constantly made to feel guilty because he doesn't want to fight in this war. The idea of the intergalactic hit beasts coming to Earth and trying to kill him. There's even a line where they're like, well, they'll just keep coming back. I mean, if we don't take the fight to them, they're just going to... I mean, that's literally what people are saying about the Middle East right now. Oh, well, if we don't go and bomb them, then, terrorists are just going to keep hitting America. And the whole... It's just such a strong kind of American, very American kind of going to war is good, fighting for your country is good, and if you're not doing that, then you're an awful person. Not even just you're a wimp. You're a terrible person. And I just found that so hard to get on with. And Centauri is quite a lovable character, but he's ultimately a kind of profiteering from war, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because he makes money by bringing in that guy. He makes money off him. He's never supposed to recruit Earth people anyway. They even say that. Yeah. And then he dies, and you're like, oh, well, at least he died. Fair enough. And then he comes back to life and goes, oh, yeah, I can just regenerate. I can heal. Why aren't you fucking fighting the war then? If you can just regenerate, you don't ever die. Why are you not one of the Starfighters? It didn't make... Yeah, so
well, it's
I
just,
enjoyed
again, it's another Star Wars rip-off, isn't it?
Well, it's a huge Star Wars, yeah. I mean, the general concept of, the idea that anyone who's played video games, even me, I played a lot of video games. The idea that I was actually going to be able to do something positive with that is a pretty cool idea, rather than just wasting my life playing video games. I like that concept as a fantasy idea, but there's just some really, really dark messages that I just couldn't really ignore, to be honest, but... Yeah.
Fair enough. Deeper than I was expecting from Last Starfighter, but I like it. Chris, what was your thoughts on Last Starfighter?
Well, not. It wasn't very original. I don't think.
No.
There was so much of of Tron in there.
Yeah.
Opposite. I mean, did Star Wars actually sue them? I don't know.
I don't think so.
No. There's a couple of funny bits. I like with the girlfriend and the robot.
Yes. Yeah.
There was some interesting little
beta.
Yeah.
They added more of that in because it tested really well with the audience. Yeah. There was a lot less of that, and they actually went and filmed more of it to boost up the comedy element. So that's quite.
Yeah. I think those are the best bits, and I like beta a lot more than original. What's his name? Alex.
Yeah.
Because he just spends the whole movie going, I don't want to do it, doesn't he, really?
I mean, I guess it's not badly made, and the special effects are quite, for the time, quite competent and good.
Yeah.
I mean, the acting's pretty good. I mean, there are some little witty bits, with some of the alien stuff. I don't know. I mean,
it was watchable.
But it's watchable, but I think it's totally uncreative in what it is.
Yeah. They obviously thought they were going to get a sequel, didn't they? Because that Zur, he gets away. And don't you think they must have thought, that's it now, we're going to get a trilogy of these.
Yeah. It's kind of like the era as well. If you look at all the rip-offs of, in kids' toys, you've been posting a bit about that, in all the rip-offs of just that science fiction, you could literally slap anything on a box and people would buy it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's that old. It's just so stupid, the whole video game thing, because the level of what video games were back then. It's how that could inspire anything, how their skills to play one of them arcade games is relevant.
The thing of that is that the only thing you can think of is that they're testing for reaction times, aren't they? They're looking for people with super fast reaction times, and that's what the computer game's showing.
Yeah.
But that computer game
not though,
is so
because
slow.
you have to smack away at them machines. It's got nothing to do with that. Like,
Well, no, I mean, the game it's based on, like, that's the even weird thing about it, is that the Star Wars, he's basically playing the Star Wars arcade game. I don't know if you remember that. But that is the game he's playing. So not only is it a rip-off of Star Wars, it's a rip-off of the actual arcade machine. And that game, there is, like, the motor controls are important. It's very, like, twitchy, in a way, like Tempest, something like that. So you can see, if you extrapolate that out, and I'm being really kind to it here, because I think I agree that he's stupid, that should be the reason they're looking for, is someone with a twitch necessary to very quickly catch them and shoot them. But then when they're playing the game, it just like is... I mean, it's because of the the effects of the time. They can't do fast shit, can they? But it just looks like the easiest, most boring game of all time, doesn't it? When they show him playing it, and you think like, well, what would he be doing here? I do like the idea that when he's getting the high score, the whole place goes
I love
round.
that.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the King of Kong documentary about Donkey Kong? And
gonna
get a high score. High score is like that. They were shouting high score.
I mean, that bit is funny. That is kind of tongue in cheek. I think they knew how ridiculous like that bit is. I think that is quite good though. Yeah. They, did you know Will Wheaton's in it somewhere, but he doesn't really.
He's not. Isn't he cut
they
out
were
of it?
cut. Yeah, they were cut, but he's there. You can see him. I think I read in the background.
Yeah.
Was he supposed to be the lead, or did I hear something? He was supposed to be a lead of something like this.
It wasn't this.
No, it wasn't this. He's just I think he's just one of the other kind of teenage boys.
Hicks on the van. Yeah. So I thought my memory of it was a lot better than it was, but I also think that my memory of it is tied in with Flight of the Navigator a lot. Like, I don't know where this film ends and that one starts, to be honest. Like, after having watched this, I've got no idea what Flight of the Navigator is even about, because all the stuff in this, I thought it's in that, and, vice versa and stuff. I mean, he's younger in that, isn't he, in Flight of the Navigator? He's a lot younger, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm sort of in agreement with you two. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the start. I like the setup. I kind of liked the idea of him being in that trailer park, although why that arcade game... like when they say, like, oh, that, what's his name? Centauri's like, oh, it shouldn't have been here, it should have been in Vegas. I just, wouldn't someone have said, well, why is it here? We're in a trailer park, who put it here? But no, but I still liked it. And I liked when he first went up into space and all the other aliens were there, and there were, those weird women with the bald heads and stuff. That was quite interesting. Yeah. But then he's so reluctant to get involved. And that works for like 20 minutes. But then when he first gets back down and Centauri drops him off, and then it all goes a bit tits up, after that, you don't want him to keep going, oh no, I don't want to do it. Like, he's like the last Starfighter, I don't want to do it. And I don't like his mate, Lizard Face.
The Navigator guy, yeah.
But do you notice, weirdly, Crichton from Red Dwarf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you think that all his mannerisms are based on this character? Like that weird laugh, that kind of like, that sort of laugh like that.
Yeah.
A lot of what he says and the way he acts remind me an awful lot of Crichton, which was weird.
Now you say that, yeah.
That's really odd.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was alright. I think what this and especially Wargames and Tron as well have got in common is they've got some real classic character actors of the 80s doing some real good, and before that, doing some real great work. Like the guy playing Centauri, Robert Preston, that's a proper fucking actor, isn't it? He knows he's in a silly film, but he's playing it well. And even the guy playing the lizard, I think, is doing a good job there.
Yeah.
And the main kid. Yeah. The main kid's...
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with the performances.
No. It's. I mean, I agree with you.
Like bloody Flash Gordon and all that.
Completely. It's a very competent film, isn't it? But I completely agree with you. It's just very derivative, isn't it? There's nothing really going on.
Yeah.
I did love the bit when those lizard people die, when they're heading towards the moon, and the bloke goes, "What do we do now?" And then his little eye thing just switches down. He goes, "We die," and then they crash into it. Like, that was just such an odd, like, that was such a weird death, but it was brilliantly, brilliantly done.
That was like weirdly modern, and also when he goes like, oh, something like, oh well, either you come with me or you don't come with me, and they just it's like a really like hard cut to like just the ship flying off through space, and he's like really pissed off with him. I thought it was really like funny sort of modern touch as well. That I like.
Yeah. The death blossom, that was pretty cool. Spinning around and shooting everything really fast. That was pretty good.
Yes. Yeah, and
such a lame ass idea. Like,
because I thought it was going to be like a nuke or something, but it is just literally spinning around and shooting everything within the radius of what you're going to spin around in, isn't it? But it drains everything. It drained the entire ship, didn't it, when he did it?
What occurred to me as well, like, all these films, and they're still doing it in Star Wars, because that's part of the Star Wars sort of just physics, is they've got all these amazing weapons, but it still relies on a human like aiming it like to like Second World War.
Yeah.
Where like 90% miss. Like even now with computers now, if they had a laser and there was a target moving, it would take a nanosecond for a computer to hit it.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, it's even more ancient in this, isn't it? Because they have a navigator and a gunner.
Yeah.
So it's even more
The
old-fashioned.
Last Jedi had like these bombers which moved about 2 miles an hour and dropped bombs in space.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up Last Jedi because I've got a point to make about that as well.
It's shit.
It is shit.
Man,
with all these films, like I think Tron is the weakest and has lot of bad moments. But all these films breathe and move in such a nice and easy, slow way that modern films don't. And even when they're being quippy, they're not overloaded with bullshit. And it makes me watching these older films makes me realise what I miss from older films. It's just
That's
you can
what
just
I
sit
love
back and just fucking
Wrath of
watch
Khan.
them.
That's what I
that's
loved
true.
about Wrath of Khan.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's true. No. It didn't feel overly long. There wasn't a bit where you were like, oh god, why have they done this bit? This doesn't make any sense. It's kind of tightly told.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. I don't want to sound like Chris, but I forgot, but I actually interviewed Catherine Mary Stewart a long time ago for it was not for Night of the Comet, which we should do because it's brilliant. But she was very nice. She was very kind of just very down to earth. Obviously, kind of willing just to talk about this and that and a
little sprinkle of stardust. I've got to get a sound
bit of stardust.
Yeah.
I'll put the interview up at some point. But it reminded me of Night of the Comet, and we should do that because it is that's a great film. She's better in that than she's in this.
She's all right in this, isn't she? She's doing.
Yeah,
all doing.
She's
all right
in Weekend at Bernie's as well.
Yeah. Did you notice the name of the cinematographer for this film?
No.
King Baggett. Which is such a great name.
Did you know that the person that wrote it produced and wrote Theodore Rex?
Yeah, I did know that. Yes. Yeah.
Which is a bit worrying.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We're not
Well, it
all
just shows
perfect.
you. I mean, when you're jobbing in the movies, up or down.
Yeah, up or down. Definitely down after this.
Right, I think is that all there is to say about it? I think it is really, isn't it? It's an okay sort of film.
Yeah.
Let's rank it. I think this film should be. It's in that area again of like it's all right. It's not as bad as some of this stuff though. Definitely not. I'm going to say it should be at number 40, which is one below Star Trek: The Motion Picture, one above Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace. Chris,
I would go with that.
Alex, you're making a noise. You think too high, too low?
Yeah, maybe a little bit lower. Maybe just a little. I mean, my problem with it is its message, but that doesn't mean just because it has that message doesn't mean it's not a bad film. It's just that I found the message a bit scary and crazy. But no, no, that's not fair of me. It's not fair of me to hate on the message. Not that's not fair.
No, I think
so
it's legitimate.
40's fine.
Legitimate reason not to like it. It is like it. I mean, it's Reagan America, isn't it? So like most 80s films have got that message, haven't they?
Yeah. Maybe just a tad lower.
A tad lower.
Yeah. Not much though.
I don't think it's worse than Star Trek 3.
No, it's not worse than Star Trek 3.
Which was a poor film.
Yeah, above that.
So above that and below Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm alright with that.
Yeah, it's another overly militaristic film.
Yeah. What was it called? Last Starfighter. Okay, Last Starfighter joins the list at number 43.
A militaristic film, but with like stupid like tactics.
Yeah. Or was it hide in an asteroid and then come up behind them once they've flown over you?
Yeah.
That was literally his master plan that no one else could have
No one
worked
ever
out.
thought of in the history of starfighters. Yeah.
Nope. Having a rear window is basically what they lacked in all those starships.
It was a bit like they kind of had the idea for the film, got as far as writing it, gets into space, and then we're like, oh shit, we've got to actually write a space opera now. What do we do?
Yeah. Actually, because you're right, all those other like aliens are really interesting, and they just die within 15 minutes. Like, what a waste of all the props and must have had quite a big budget, not reasonably.
I don't know. It wasn't that much in terms of props, were there? It was like a few rubber masks.
A few rubber masks, yeah, I guess. Yeah, true.
Right, let's have a break and then move on to Tron. And we're back with our second film of the day. It's Tron, directed by Steven Lisberger from 1982. Disney's big foray into computer graphics and not much else. I'll start here because this film's terrible. Now, I had a soft spot for Tron, and I think, no, without a doubt, it's because it looks incredible, and that's it, really, isn't it? It looks absolutely incredible. It sounds quite good. Soundtrack in places is really good. And also there's a great computer game called Tron 2.0, which I'm not sure if either of you played that, but which is kind of a direct sequel to this, and it was incredible. Have you lost Alex?
No, I'm keeping quiet because I just disagree with everything you're saying.
Okay, right, fair enough. It's all right.
I'm brooding.
He's brooding, right? Okay.
Yeah,
well, I'll finish then. You're brooding, right? So yeah, it's a good concept. I love the way it opens with it just being straight in the game. But I think this is one of the worst scripts of any film I've ever seen. There's so many lines that don't no one talks in a real way.
Of course not, because they're living in a generated computer world. Why would they talk like... Well, Jeff, that's exactly... No, why would they talk normally?
No, but like Jeff Bridges even. Like, they say weird things like... I should written down some examples. But something like, oh, that's fine. That's okay because it's fine. Like, they'll say sentences where they say the same thing twice as though no one's really read the script back and thought this doesn't feel like even coherent dialogue.
I think that's because of the amount of VFX.
I think you're right, yeah.
It had to go through the pipeline, and editing was an issue after that. Yeah.
I completely agree. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. That it feels like Pixar or someone. Who did it? It was it's Disney in-house, isn't it? I think did the effects for it.
Yeah.
But it feels like a show reel for how to make good effects, and they've put they tried to put something good in. So I love all the concepts are brilliant. The light cycles are brilliant. The idea of MCP is brilliant. The look of it is incredible. The shots and the flying of the cities and stuff with the recognize. Is it called the big thing?
Yeah.
All that stuff is fantastic. All the characters are terrible. Script is awful. Acting is borderline atrocious at times, I think. And more than anything, Tron Legacy, which I watched again, I was thinking, because I remember loving Tron Legacy, and I watched it again after this again, and still think that is sort of correcting the errors of this film and making a competent story. It's not perfect, but it puts a good story in what is a fantastic world. And really, Tron is one of those weird things. It's a underexploited franchise for me. Like, there's so much you could do with this, and that is such a rare thing in this day and age, especially a Disney franchise.
Yeah.
That they've done nothing exciting with all the light cycle stuff. They did another game that was terrible. But other than that, yeah. So no, I was really not into this at all. Alex, I guess you can go next and counterbalance that.
Well, I just thought this was a work of fucking art. I thought this was. thought it was amazing. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I just think that it looks, the design and the look and all the everything in it is just so good that it hasn't got the best plot and it is stupid and it doesn't make much sense, but I don't think that matters in any way whatsoever, because I just think that the pure visuals and the ideas and the amount of kind of just creativity on show is just mind-blowing, and nothing else looks like this. And I just think that just to me just meant that it didn't really matter about the plot. And I think what is often the best science fiction films especially create an entire world, and this definitely does that. The idea of them, the kind of, it's stupid, but they're kind of religious zealots because they believe in the user, the idea of the user, and Master Computer doesn't want them to have the idea that there are these human beings controlling them and all that stuff, like that whole, and the kind of gladiatorial games and just all that stuff. I think it's dumb and it's stupid, but it doesn't matter because it has to have a plot, as it were. And I like that it doesn't, like the end pretty much is just really brutally quick, because they beat the Master Computer. he gets that little printout saying, yeah, you made those games. And then next thing, it's like, Jeff Bridges is the head of the company. And that's it. Like, I like it doesn't muck around. It's not like, okay, let's have loads of back in the real world where we explain this weird love triangle that we've created for some strange reason. And I thought, I thought Jeff Bridges was brilliant. I think he's Han Soloing it up in an immense... I mean, he's just such a cool character. Like, I just think that character is a brilliantly cool character, and I think he in the same way he does in Big Lebowski, his kind of ego, his kind of presence just makes that character just such a great character, regardless of how dumb it is. So no, I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Wow, Chris, where do you come down on Tron?
Well, I watched this on a VHS.
Oh yeah,
on a little TV VCR type thing.
Wow.
I watched it in its original shitness.
You do yourself a disfavour there, though, because the Blu-ray transfer of it is incredible. It looks amazing.
I know, I'm sure it does. But no, I mean, I was saying shitness, but I'm like, I was in the world.
Right. Okay.
I was in the 80s.
So what do you think?
Good for you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it's great. I mean, just to look at, it's amazing, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
It's why did they never do like a Tron World at Disneyland?
Yeah,
that's a good question.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a cartoon, isn't there? There's a cartoon, I think.
Is there?
Yeah, Tron Uprising, maybe.
That's the game, isn't it? That's the PlayStation 3 game, I think.
Oh, okay. I've definitely seen. That
it is as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the guy that plays Tron does the voice in the cartoon.
Oh right.
Because he didn't get any other work.
Have you seen Legacy? You've seen Legacy, haven't you? The new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they took the best bits from that as well. I mean, I think that's equally as visually amazing. But I'm kind of with Sam also. Is the script mental? But that's all because of a technical thing, I think. But, you've got to take it into account, and obviously that's the story, and the story sort of falls over that in the characters and how they're not like real people, and
no,
they're kind of. And that kind of then separates you from them being, anthropomorphized programs and
it's got a lot of the Disney about it, don't you think?
A bit like this, something in the end, didn't it? Like how there was programs and stuff. It
all just seemed like very like it looked like the Disney side of it to me. Like it felt like a cartoon sort of world, and the characters are very. Not even two-dimensional. Like a lot of the things the characters say and stuff, it's just nothing. It's just like a.
You'd edit out because you'd use like half of one take and half of another, or.
I just think there's a better way of telling this thing. Like the way they obsessed with the parallel of like having the world. Everything on the circuit board is a parallel of our world.
Yeah,
well, I quite like that though. I think it's quite a good concept for this. I think that helps
to a point. I just think they go with it too much, and I don't know. I didn't buy any of that stuff at all. And also, when you say that, like, obviously it looks incredible, and it does. Like, I'm not going to dispute that. I think it looks absolutely amazing, and I think I'd probably watch it again with the sound off because I did like looking at it. But there's a lot of films that do that look amazing. We've not done it yet, but obviously Blade Runner, which. Someone might say is possibly the greatest science fiction film of all time, is managed to look incredible and also carry a decent story. Like he doesn't let can't let it off because you can't do a.
Yeah,
I know.
It's the old thing. Like if you're there talking about how good something looks, it's probably the story's probably crap.
Yeah,
but the story's just very basic, isn't it? It is just like it's Alice in Wonderland, and. He's a normal person transported into that world. He has to help them, and it's kind of silly, isn't it? Because it's called Tron, but Tron's not really. Tron's one of the most boring characters, really. I mean, he's Luke Skywalker, isn't he? What his name is in the real world, he's Luke Skywalker. He's boring. Jeff Bridges is he's Han Solo, and she's kind of Leia, and
I think
that's what it is, really.
That is the weirdest thing about the film for me, is that, and I've never really understood that, is why it is called Tron, and Tron is such a. Like an ancillary part of what's going on. It's so weird, isn't it? Like that choice that Tron's the hero and he fights for the users, but but he's not really. He's just this guy.
He's really boring. He's not really the good character at all. He's kind of sidelined to it.
It's just like a gladiator type, a nameless gladiator, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so odd. And it's because I own Tron Legacy. Like, obviously Tron's in it again, but it's sidelined even more in a kind of weirder way. And obviously, like, the guy who plays him didn't become famous anyway, did he? Like,
no.
Whatever his name is. So it's just so strange when he comes back, and you think, I remember not really knowing who that was, and it's shit, that's Tron. But it's bizarre. I don't know.
I guess
I think I don't know if I'm making my point properly about it. Like, the other thing I thought is that when they are talking, when it's not effects, it feels a bit like a crap play because they all just stand around, not moving, very static, talking to one another, and the dialogue's terrible. You see what I mean? That's
because it's that green screen thing. It's like, okay, they can do it against green screen, but they've got to put something there which is interesting to look at. Otherwise, it's just a load of people stood there. Yeah,
and that's the thing. Yeah, it stood there, and it's got that episode 1 sort of thing, prequel trilogy. I've stood there doing a very boring story, and the surroundings are saving them because they're not talking, and the dialogue's terrible, and everything's bad about it. I don't know.
I guess I just like. To me,
the visuals were enough to carry you through.
The visuals were just so good, and there's things they just like they just throw some things in there, and I was like those bug things that you see for 2 seconds, and then they don't actually come back again.
Yeah,
and you are just like, what are they? Oh my god! All the bit where there's the weird, all the kind of alternate programs. They're like, they're I can't remember. He says like rogue, whatever, and you're just like, oh my god, what are they? And I was just so much just like, oh my god, look at that! Oh, look at that! Like I didn't really care about the plot. I wasn't bothered. I was just visually, I just was enjoying it so much, and just how I think because I read that this was when Disney was doing really badly, and they were literally just experimenting any way they could, and they made like a horror film as well at the time, and a thriller or something as well, and thank God this got made because I can't imagine. This being pitched now would work, but at that point, this being pitched, I just think they would just be like a big studio would just be like, no, we're not going to video games. That's something for kids. Like, why would we bother making an entire film?
Definitely desperation. There's a great book about the making of Tron. I think it's called Making of Tron, about how basically it saved and changed Disney. And there's no Pixar without Tron. There's no there's probably no Disney without Tron in the sense that it they found a new avenue to explore when animation was sort of going on the pan a bit. Do you know that the Oscars banned it from being nominated for best special effects?
What? Why?
Because they used computers, so it wasn't nominated at all because they thought they cheated by using computers. So best visual effects didn't get a nomination, which is,
my god,
that's not a sign of how ahead of its time it was. I don't know what it is really. It's,
god,
really they should be posthumously nominated,
awarded one. Yeah, they should. Yeah.
I did read that the state-of-the-art computer, it says, used for the film's key special effects had only 2 megabytes of memory and 330 megabytes of storage. So the whole thing was done on that.
It took them something like weeks to get a frame out, didn't it? As well of processing on these
You kind of wonder how they ever made it, don't you? Like,
yeah.
Because if they rendered out, they spent a week rendering out 2 seconds, and then there was something in shot which shouldn't have been there.
Yeah,
and it's like there's no way of doing a lower. There probably wasn't a good way of doing a lower res example.
Totally. Yeah. They were kind of committed to it, weren't they? It was what it was going to be. You think as well? This came out in 1982, and I was trying to think when do you think this was surpassed in terms of visual effects?
Well, not for a really long time.
Yeah, it's going to be. But I thought Back to the Future 2 is the first thing I could think of where you've got computer effects that are. And that's that's 87, 88, isn't it? Back to the Future 2? 88,
I guess.
I couldn't think of anything else that comes close, really, in terms of something that holds up that well. Which is pretty crazy, isn't it, really, when you think about it that long past. But, yeah, so it's an odd one, because it's important, it looks incredible, but it isn't a good film. I'm sorry, Alex, I really don't think it's a good film.
No, I just disagree. No.
Okay, well, let's rank it, and let's quick Chris, you can go first, as you're not as on polar opposites like us, so you can.
I don't know. I think it's probably in the 40s somewhere.
What?
Yeah, I can get with that.
Fuck both of you.
Alex explodes.
No
I think you found your re-rank film, Alex, for your birthday.
Well, yeah, I think I have. God,
hang on,
yeah.
But I think it's probably better than... Actually, I'd probably just put it one above episode 1. Because it has got technical credit.
Yeah.
As episode 1 has technical, in a lot of ways, they invented a lot of stuff on that film as well.
Yeah.
I
can agree with that.
Midi-chlorians.
Yeah. Yes, and it is, as bad as it is a story, it is a better story than Phantom Menace. So yeah, I agree with that. So Alex,
right, you're both ridiculous. I would put it at number 13, underneath Close Encounters, above Fifth Element, a film which it actually shares a lot with in a way, especially because that Morbius guy did a lot of the designs for this. And Fifth Element is a film that is excessively visual. It creates a whole world. It doesn't have a very good story either. But yet we've got that at number 13.
Fifth Element's got a much better story than... I think it's acted better.
It's not as... But then Fifth Element is not as visually impressive as Tron. Or as groundbreaking, or as kind of important. Or as influential.
Alright, but then, so... Let's go up and down this list a bit. So WALL-E, that looks nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm saying it's better than WALL-E.
But I don't think it is better than WALL-E, because WALL-E tells a nice story. WALL-E's too high.
I didn't think I would hear that coming out of your mouth.
WALL-E is like artistically where they've got the use of computers and technology to a point where I can start to saying that is now like artistic.
Ugh. This is art. I don't say that Tron isn't art.
Do you know what's too high on our list? Look at this list now. Why the fuck is Mars Attacks at 17? What the hell were we smoking that week?
Well, that was you guys. I thought it was dodgy.
I still like it. I think it's because we haven't done enough solid science fiction comedies. We were just happy that we had one that was funny.
I would compromise and go like in the mid-20s probably.
I don't think you can let off the fact that it's just, it doesn't, if you take away the special effects, right, which I know we're not doing that.
No, yeah.
But if you do take away special effects, say take away special effects from all these films, right, and all the world, just put it down to the story and the acting and the cinematography and the way the film's constructed without the glitz of it, it is a 50s film at best, because the story is nothing, the acting is terrible, the script is atrocious. It's I mean, when you take away all that stuff, all it's got going for it is this. I think the soundtrack's quite interesting. I think the soundtrack's brilliant, but it's an interesting soundtrack.
Well, but we're not doing that though.
No, I know we're not. So
I can see what you're saying. All right,
so you put that back in, and you put the effects back in, and I don't think that takes it up. I mean, like as Chris says, episode 1 is the groundbreaking thing in terms of it is the first sort of entirely CG film almost. It's live action, but it's got an awful story and stuff like that, and yet that's at 40. So I think Chris was bang on with his 40 for me.
I mean, it is going to be a total art form in the sense of it does come along with the technical. So it's a craft. So we can't discount what it looks like and what it is and what they were trying to do.
No,
I'm not saying that. But like with Phantom Menace, we're not discounting the fact that it looks the way it does, which is why that's as high as it is, I think.
But that would be a lot lower if it didn't have that.
Yeah, totally.
Well, it might be a lot higher because actually they've been sort of railroaded by the use of effects, haven't they?
Yeah, that's what's ruined it, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, yeah. Well, I just think it should just be high. I mean, yeah.
What are you saying? 13.
I'm willing to come down from that.
There's no way it's better than Terminator 2. Like that's insane. Because that's doing a lot of
I've just seen
things.
Terminator 2 there, so yeah, no, fair enough. I think it's better than Barry's Not Included. Film.
It's not better than Independence Day, or
is it better than Pacific Rim? I think it's better than Pacific Rim.
I can get with it being better than Pacific Rim.
32, I'd take.
Right, done. I feel I will not negotiate any higher. I will decide. I will stay right there.
I would have gone slightly higher than that because I did prefer it to Independence Day, but no, we'll stick at 32.
Okay,
that sounds good to me. Wow.
Yeah. Who thought?
Scientific. system this is.
No, it's the most scientific. You can't. If we start doubting the system, the whole podcast falls apart. We've got to. Faith has to be in the system.
System stays.
Yeah. So that Tron at 32, that was our 80th film in the list.
Ooh.
Enters at 32. Yeah, that's the most contentious one they've had for a while, I think.
Yeah.
Right, one more film to go, and that is Wargames. We're back with Wargames, our final film of the day, from 1983, directed by John Badham, starring famous murderer Matthew Broderick.
Really?
Yeah, do you know about him murdering a girl in
No.
in Ireland? He
No.
got drunk and crashed his car into a couple, I think, and killed a girl.
Oh dear.
Is this...
Because he's Matthew Broderick, he didn't have to go to jail or anything like that. So I find it very hard to watch a Matthew Broderick film because he's a piece of shit.
I didn't hear this.
It's true, yeah. It happened in the late 80s, yeah. It's pushed under the ground. If you Google it, it comes up, but they don't talk about it because they like to keep him a bankable star, but it's true. I might have to cut this out even because we might get...
Cease and desist.
It's completely true,
Matthew
though. Like 100% true. If you put Matthew Broderick murder into Google, I'm going to do it. Matthew Broderick murderer.
This is taking a dark turn.
I think you're going to have to cut this out and then literally just say, just Google Matthew Broderick murder.
Yeah.
And then, because you haven't said anything bad there, you've just said Google something.
He actually killed 2 people.
Yeah.
Wow.
And had a fine of $175.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Good
cut all
deal.
this out.
Fucking ridiculous. Anyway, we'll cut that out. But let's get back to Wargames. So, Chris, you've not started yet. Had you seen Wargames before?
This, I like the film. Well, I had trouble with it because it kind of underlies to me that how dangerous the world is.
Yeah.
And it hasn't got any better since this film was made.
No.
No.
It might have even got worse.
A lot worse, I think, yeah.
And it's the same with the Kubrick one, Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah.
It just all I take away from this is it's like I might as well watch the panorama, like BBC Panorama, or a documentary about how bad the situation is.
You are the doctor, what's his name? Falcon, aren't you?
Yeah.
You've retired to a lake and you're thinking, fuck it, we're all going to explode. Yeah.
Obviously, it's a completely... The premise of it is probably quite mental. But then I read the other day that a lot of the nuclear weapons in America are still run by the era of computers, which this shows.
Yeah.
And the upkeep costs of them computers, because they have to literally have a factory making tape-to-tape machines and stuff like that, it's getting to the point where it costs billions to upkeep them, but now Trump is paying billions just to revamp them.
Yeah.
God.
And basically doing what they are showing them doing in the film, like how they're being switched over to a more digital mainframe system.
Yeah.
But then again, in another 30 years or 10 years, they're going to be decrepit again. And basically, they're keeping them how they are and seen in this film because they're unhackable.
Yeah.
So that's why they've never updated them. But anyway, it's quite interesting. It's a complete, you're just watching a nightmare situation.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the entertainment value. That's what I wasn't getting any entertainment from the acting or the script or anything like that. I was really just getting the morbid entertainment of what I was seeing. And the general guy, I thought was very funny. I like how they just bring an Englishman in the end just to fix the whole problem. It's ridiculous. All the procedural things I quite like.
Yeah.
Big on procedural. This military procedural.
The nuclear sort of keys and all that. That's quite interesting. But they've made a lot of film out of basically one big set on this, which is like Doctor Strangelove, but I also like there are some really cool. I like the big graphic of how they keep referring back to this big graphic map and
iconic map, isn't it? Really,
yeah, and also how when the nukes hit and they're like on the phone and they're expecting. They're just seeing whether they... And there's that noise it makes, like... Do, 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 do. That's quite interesting. Well done. But yeah, I mean, other than morbid fascination with the state of the world, I can't really separate myself to be just detached and watch it as a...
You can't enjoy it as a piece of fiction.
No. Does that make sense?
Enough. Yeah. I mean, I would say that I'd rather have Whopper have his hands on the nuclear codes than Trump.
Yeah.
Which, more scary.
Well, also, like some of his generals, when he was like running for president, like one of them was asked, well, what would happen like if you were told to do something? And one of them basically said, well, basically that order wouldn't get carried out.
Yeah.
Which, if that is their entire job to do that.
Yeah, well, that's the start of the film, isn't it? The fact that they won't turn
it's like, keys. Well, actually, he's not actually a very good general. But then you go, well, actually, they are still like people, and they've done that general has probably done that job for 50 years, and Trump turns up, and people above him turn up in suits with not an idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, it all relies on common sense, but literally, because they are like such short periods of time where decisions have to be made, you just have to hope that the right people with the right common sense are around. It's
terrifying. Yeah. Alex, what do you think about Wargames?
Oh, I thought it sucked. I didn't like it.
Oh wow.
No, I just thought that Matthew Broderick's character was a dickhead, and I didn't see why anyone liked him, why anyone cared about him. I mean, he was a very good portrayal of a teenager because he was selfish, he was obnoxious, he thought he was more intelligent than everyone else. He didn't care about anything, and I just didn't. I wasn't down with him as a central character. Him or Ali Sheedy. I thought their romance was just uncomfortable to watch. It was just a bit like embarrassing.
Yeah.
So then you've got that. So you got that whole kind of kiddie plot, which just sucked, and then you've just got this very hardcore, militaristic, depressing, procedural stroke, kind of like grueling, like oh my god, like and. I just don't think the two parts mix together at all. And there were just so many points where I was just like, but... And I know, sorry, the answer is that, yes, it is realistic, because all these things, people are that stupid. But there were so many points where I was just like, but why isn't someone, like, switching this off? Why did they not know it plays these games? How come he plays the side of the Russians, stops playing, but then the computer starts playing the Russians itself? Why are the Russians not going to war because they can see us, the Americans, turning on the keys? Like, do you know what I mean? The manoeuvres the Americans are doing, why in real life were the Russians not reacting to those manoeuvres?
Yeah, the Russian side of this is the most, like, blissed out bunker
they were
time,
just
isn't
like,
it?
Crazy Americans, whatever. Like, whatever.
I kind of think it would have been like that, because I think it was literally a case of who can build the most amount of missiles.
Yeah.
Just for numbers.
No. I mean, and then also I didn't understand that, that beginning bit, I got all that. I thought I was, that beginning bit, in a drama film would be a really good opening. And then they're like, right, we're giving it over to the robot, the machine, because the machine won't have a conscience. But then Dr. Falcon is just like, well, I just spent all the time trying to teach the machine that it needs a conscience. And you're like, so what's the message here? That, apart from the message being what Chris said, which is there's some fucking horrible stuff going on and we probably best not to know about it.
But I think that's the message.
But what's the point?
Exactly, that's the message. What is the point?
Yeah, but what's the point of me spending 2 hours watching something that says, what's the point?
Well, the year this came out, I think it would have been a good message to put out. Maybe. Because it was still, like, happening when this came out, right?
Oh, it's deep in the Cold War. Yeah. So... like with Tron, we've got a impasse here, because I think this film is fantastic for all the reasons you don't like it, because I love the fact that they kind of Trojan horse in this really deep, depressing film about like the inevitability of artificial intelligence taking over, the human element of things like this. The fact that
this is like the prequel to Terminator.
Yeah, but in an even darker way, really, because Terminator, you've still got this like scrappy band of resistance in the future. But Wargames sort of, especially when they get to that, like I agree with you, Alex, that the Matthew Broderick's bit is shit. Like, I don't like it at all. I do like the way they use computers and stuff is quite realistic, really, for a film, especially like this old. Like, be able to show him like going in, logging terminals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I agree that romance is crap. But I think it's intentional. I'm sure that is how they're getting the budget and the platform to make this film that is saying, you know, look, we have let a genie out of the bottle here, and we can't stuff it back in, and we are going to hit this point where, you know, something will happen where AI will take over. And I think really, like, it's quite a prescient point to make now, with the fact that, you know, hacking is a thing that happens all the time now, and we are basically at the mercy of Amazon, Google, and Apple, and the government.
Yeah.
And that, like, it's only a matter of time, really, until something like this does happen, that a computer does interpret something wrong, and something like on a big scale does happen. It might have already happened, we don't know about it, really. Yeah. And I just think it's a really, to have a film that on one level is trying to make it a teen comedy thing about this, but then turns into this procedural with a lot of, like, fantastic work from the guy at the West Wing, what's his name, John Spencer. He's great at the start. Is it Barry Corbin who's playing the general? He's great in it. All the supporting cast, like, a really strong, good actors playing out what could be a play, really, like a one scene, one set play.
Yeah.
About what happens when computers get involved in national defence, and when we are in this stupid binary war of, like Chris said, stockpiling more than the other one. And I think that, I don't know, for me, like, I was just engrossed by that, and I just kept thinking, how does this exist, and how is it successful? And also, on top of that, you've got such iconic things as Whopper and, you know, Shall We Play a Game? The visuals of the, like Chris said, the bombs coming across, which is such a fantastic visual. And the fact that the most tense bit of the film, you're just watching a few lines on a screen, and you're thinking,
didn't you think that was just... Does no one have a fucking window? I could see a plane up in the sky out the window I'm next to. If there's a missile coming to me, I'll be able to see it. Why did no one just look out the window and go, yeah, there's no nukes coming.
Well,
we
they're
can
in a
all
bunker,
stand down.
and they do that, don't they?
Well, there's no one outside that could look out the window and say...
That's what they did.
Yeah, they ring,
but they're going like, 60, 59, 50... You could see it at that point. You could see it. And then they count all the way down to 0.
Yeah, you could.
I don't think you would either. No,
I can see a plane in the...
It's not a plane. It's a re-entering.
So they need to count down to 0. No one is gonna have seen where there was a missile between 60 and 0. They're not gonna see it. It's just gonna come down.
Well, even if they did, though, what would be the benefit of them, like, ringing up with 30 seconds to go and going, yeah, shit, there is a missile? You know, you might as well have the tension of waiting to 0, then they ring you up and go, no, there's no missile.
And he's also all told them it's a simulation by that point. He's also all told them this is all fake. It's all a simulation. Nothing's actually going to happen.
Yeah, but you're in the bunker.
Talking about their only role, and that whole thing is to fire before they get hit. So even if a kid comes in and said it's a game, to them it's not a game, because they are.
No, but Falcone or whatever's come in and said no, it's playing a game. It's none of this is real.
Yeah, but it's all fake. But they're still sitting in the bunker, like, for NORAD. Mission Control, their whole job has been about missiles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One, like, guy, they don't trust the computers anyway. They've made it clear all the way through they don't really trust the computers or the thing. Someone saying it's all a game, you're not going to think... You wouldn't. I don't think anyone sat there would be thinking it's definitely a game. You'd still be thinking, oh, what if it isn't a game? You know?
Yeah, I just.
You could get around all of this, like... If you were to fight a war, all you do is the Russians just pay that guy to go to NORAD and tell them not to retaliate, and then they can just...
Yeah. Nah, I just didn't buy it. I mean, there was no tension. Any fucking film that's a thriller with tension where someone could go on, a 3-hour flight to go and visit someone, that's not tense to me. Oh, hold on, I'm just going to charter a flight to go to an island to visit this scientist because I've got that long before actually anything happens.
That is a bit
There was no tension. Just looking at that big bit of plastic with blinking lights, I wasn't scared.
I do love that they do that, and they get there, and he's just like, yeah, well, you know, we're all fucked. Yeah. I've come and retired here.
Yeah, I'm near the blast zone, so we'll die really quickly, so that'll be great. That's his whole thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's such a great thing to have in a film. It's so dark. Like, it's just such a... I love it.
I didn't think it worked.
I find this whole sort of, like, nuclear war actually quite fascinating, the tactics involved and I think it's really good that they've shown it in a film.
in such a obviously not completely serious way, but it's more serious than a film called Wargames with a teenager as its lead has a right to be, don't you think? Like they go into it a lot deeper than you would think they would. I don't know. I just think it really worked for me, and also like I thought again, not to keep going back to modern films, but this film would not exist like this now, would it?
No. Oh man, they'd have to show like fucking things getting blown up, and you wouldn't be able to make this. You wouldn't pitch this film now as a nuclear war film, and there not be a bomb go off.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Or at most, it would have a budget of like £10. You know, it would be mean you making it in a garage rather than Hollywood.
Well, they did make a sequel.
The Dead Code,
The Dead Code, 2006, straight to DVD.
Yeah, I've not seen that, but we have to at some point watching that one. I mean, this was the 5th highest grossing film of 1983, which, you know, I give credit to the audience goers of that era because it would not happen now. So, I don't know where to come down that, because for me, this is a classic.
No. It just didn't work. To me, I can see all the things you're saying. I think you're right. I just did not think it worked. I think the two things, it was just like you were flicking on channels between two different films. And I just found Matthew Broderick and Ali Sheedy just so obnoxious and so annoying that I couldn't separate them.
They're barely in it though. After the first half hour, he's the audience surrogate, isn't he? He's wandering around being us, basically.
Yeah, but then that just pissed me off because I just didn't. So then I was just I guess I was just checked out too early, and I just couldn't really reconnect with it. I just didn't.
Fair enough. Also, the idea of like DEF CON wasn't really known before this, was it? I think it sort of the DEF CON levels were introduced to the wider world because of this.
They never really. Yeah, he just went straight to DEF CON 1.
I know, yeah. And then back down. What a great end to the film, though. He just goes, put it back down to DEF CON 5. The end. Yeah. That's the way it ends. And I think I mentioned it last time, but there's a game called DEF CON, which you've played, haven't you, Chris? And I think that is
still
influencing...
got it on my Steam. It's on my Steam.
And me. It's such a great game. Have you ever played it, Alex?
No.
It's worth playing because you're basically just playing the computer screen off this, really.
Oh, okay.
And you're you're stockpiling nukes, and it's sort of a
you've got bombers, you've got subs.
It's who will blink first kind of thing. It's a really brilliant game. All right, let's rank it. I'll go first this time, and I'm saying for me this is 10 in the list.
Fuck no, absolutely. You can. No effing way is this going 10. No way whatsoever. It's barely, and also let me just say something. It's barely science fiction. Barely. Just only because it's got an artificial... It's basically a war thriller. It's not really... It's only because there's sentience to that computer, which is just a very minor element to it. It's very tenuous as a science fiction film.
That is true. Yeah. All right. Where would you put it, Alex?
10. What did we put Tron as?
To be honest, I wouldn't want to put it 10, really. I think I'm being a bit over.
You. Where did we put Tron?
Tron was at 32.
32. Yeah, it's worse than Tron. It's not as good as Tron. It is not worse than Tron. It's like 40 underneath Star Wars Episode 1.
Actually, my real thing is I'd say it's 26, above Arrival, below They Live. Chris, what would...
No, because I wouldn't rewatch it over Lost World or...
No.
A few of them things. I would put it around about 42.
What?
Yeah, that's about right.
No.
Yeah. All these other films I would rewatch.
Yeah.
I've got this one now, I understand it.
Yeah.
I know what's going on.
I'd rewatch this. I wouldn't rewatch Independence Day or Bachelor Not Included.
Oh, I would.
There was no entertainment value to this. Like I say, it's a message film. It's a message, and I'm with Chris. Yeah, we got it. We get the message, and you know, I'll give you credit. You're right. They've snuck in something hardcore. Yeah. I get the whole thing that they've snuck in quite a subversive thing within the wrapping of a teen movie, and that's great. But yeah, that's it. You just watch it once, done. No need to watch it again.
I'm going to ask that with every film we do. Would I rather watch Crimson Tide?
It's the Crimson Tide rating system.
Yeah.
Also, that
Just above or below Crimson Tide.
all these 3 films have arcade sequences on arcades. The sequence in Tron is amazing. Nothing touches that. The last Starfighter is great. The sequence in the arcade in this is the worst sequence ever. That stupid sucky song about you're going to the arcade, you're going to play some games.
This is playing a real game though.
Dig out that song. It was the worst, most hey everyone, he's at an arcade song. The soundtrack to this was terrible. Really terrible.
I quite like those little songs at the start. Those little like plinky plonky. They sound like
They were just like driving at NORAD, like in the Jeep, and there was no one shooting at them.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I read that was actually an accident. What happened?
Right. What, when they crashed? It looked like it.
Yeah, according to John Badham, the scene of the Jeep trying to crash through the gate at NORAD and turning over was an actual accident. The Jeep was supposed to continue through the gate. They added the scene of the characters running from the Jeep and down the tunnel and used the botched Jeep stunt.
that would make sense because it looked awful, didn't it?
Yeah, really, yeah, it did, yeah.
Like the most low stakes crap crash of all time.
Yeah. So where's it going to go? Because me and Chris have decided. So what's your
You
bargaining?
both said 42.
Yeah, I'm happy with what Chris has said.
Fuck no. Let me try and find a place to put it. It's better than Tron. Come on.
It is not better than Tron. It's not better than Tron.
No, it's not. Tron's more important in many, many ways.
Thank you, Chris.
I think Wargames is quite influential though.
In selling modems to people, yeah.
That's the most important way, damn it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be talking right now without Wargames.
Yeah, it's true. And also it's important in making Ronald Reagan freak out and change the rules.
Yeah, change the law, yeah.
Yeah, he changed the law.
I bet they watch this film at the CND meetings.
No, Reagan did. Reagan changed the law,
Yeah.
didn't he? Well, I've got it written down somewhere. NSDD 145, which was a presidential directive. Hang on, I can't find. Where's my? Basically, it was a thing that like made them crack down on this sort of shit. Can we not say like even like 40?
Have a look. Yeah.
It's better than Phantom Menace. Better than Star Trek: The Motion Picture. At least thing happened in this film.
It's not dissimilar from Andromeda Strain in some ways, but
No, it's Andromeda Strain.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's a valid place to be around.
All right, so one below Andromeda Strain. 40.
Okay,
I've talked you up 2.
Yeah, if we have to.
Okay, wow. It's been a crazy week.
Yeah, this is what Ready Player One did to us.
There's
Drove us apart.
Yeah. Oh. Right, so that's 3 new films added to the list. 81 films now. We've got at number... What's our lowest entry is The Last Starfighter, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, at 45. At 40, Wargames. And at 32, Tron. So 3 films that like prove how the list doesn't really work because... Each one, we both felt quite strongly about one of those 2, well, apart from Last Starfighter, and yet both end up in the middle. So
that's okay.
Yeah,
we believe in the system.
The system works. Right. So that's it for this week. Next time is the start of our new season of podcasts. It's Creature Feature season. Insert jingle. There'll be a jingle there. Nice. So for the next 6 weeks,
put the Thundercats roar there.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, for the next 6 weeks, we're watching 9 films to do with animals, really, because on the loose basis that it's Easter and Easter bunny's a thing.
Yeah.
So we've got rabbits, fishy tails, and killer animals. Those are our 3 film themes. And we're starting with rabbits next time. So look forward to some
rabbits.
You'll see some sci-fi rabbits. You look forward to that. But for now, that's it. Alex, have you got that list of where we are?
Oh, yes, I have. Sorry.
Brilliant.
We are at www.sciencefictionratingsystem.com. We're Twitter at SF Rating System, Instagram Science Fiction Rating System, Facebook SF Rating System, and our email is sciencefictionratingsystem@gmail.com. Send us some lists, please.
And some feedback.
We haven't had any mail for a while, have we?
We have got mail for next week. I've got a little bit of mail for us. Yeah, I've got two bits of mail in fact for next week. So
our subscriptions expired.
Yeah, I'm billing you both for our website. That's the mail. Okay, I think that's all. Yeah, so join us next week for a preview of 3 Rabbit films.